All right, let's grab our pickaxes and get ready to dig into the awesome tabletop game, Saboteur. This is a fantastic, super fun game all about hidden roles, sneaky sabotage, and a wild race for gold. And that quote pretty much sums it all up, right? In this game, you're a dwarf, and all you care about is that shiny gold. But here's the big question. Are you an honest miner trying to find the treasure, or are you a crafty saboteur trying to snatch it all for yourself? So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the two secret teams. Then, we'll walk through exactly how to set up the mine. After that, we'll cover what you do on your turn. And finally, how you actually win and claim all that glorious gold. Let's get to it. Okay, the whole heart of Sabotager is the secret conflict. At the very start of the game, you're going to get a secret role. And here's the fun part. You won't know for sure who's on your team and who's trying to wreck your plans. It's really simple. If you're a gold miner, your one and only job is to work with the other miners to build a tunnel from the entrance all the way to that hidden gold. If you make it, you all get to share the prize. But if you're a saboteur, your goal is pure chaos. You want to block paths, break tools, and do whatever it takes to stop the miners so you can steal all that treasure for yourselves. Now that you get the idea, let's talk about setting up the game. It's really fast, so you can get to the fun part, the digging and the backstabbing, as quickly as possible. There are just 4 main steps to get going. First, we'll secretly hand out the rolls. Then we'll actually lay out the mine cards on the table. After that, we'll make the deck you draw from, and finally, we'll deal everyone their first hand of cards. So, how do you know who's a saboteur? Well, it depends on how many people are playing. You just look at this chart, grab the right number of gold miner and saboteur cards, shuffle them up, and deal 1 to each person face down. Everyone takes a secret peek at their own role, and that's when the paranoia begins. Next up, you build the mine itself. Find the start card, it's the one with the ladder, and place it face up. Then, take the 3 gold cards, shuffle them without looking, and place them face down on the other side of the table. You'll want to leave a gap of about 7 card lengths between the start and the goals. And here's the twist. Only one of those gold cards has the gold. The other 2 are just worthless rocks. And for the final setup step, just take all the other cards, the path cards, and the action cards, and shuffle them all together. This big pile is your draw deck. Then you just deal out the starting hands, depending on how many people are playing, and boom, you are ready to start digging. All right, the mine is all set up, you know your secret identity, so what do you actually do on your turn? Well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. The turn structure is incredibly easy to remember. You do 2 things. That's it. First, you play 1 card from your hand. Then, you draw 1 card from the deck to get back to your hand size. That's your whole turn. Play 1, draw 1. Simple as that. So, all the strategy and all the fun choices are packed into that first step, playing a card. And you've basically got 3 options. You can play a path card to build out the mine. You can play an action card to mess with somebody or help them. Or, if you can't do anything or just don't want to, you can pass your turn by discarding a card. Let's talk about path cards. These are the bread and butter of the game, right? These are the little tunnel pieces you'll be placing on the table to try to build an unbroken path from that starting ladder all the way over to one of those 3 gold cards. Now, there is one huge, super important rule when you play a path card. It has to connect properly. You see how the tunnels are drawn on the cards? Well, any side of the card you're placing must match up with the pads on the cards it's touching. You can't have a tunnel just run into a solid rock wall. It has to make sense. Okay, now for the really fun stuff. Action cards. This is where the game gets personal. These cards are how you directly interact with the other players. You can use them to help people you think are on your team, or more likely to cause some serious problems for your enemies. So for example, a classic saboteur move is to play a broken minecart card on another player. If someone plays this on you, you're totally stuck. It sits in front of you and you are not allowed to play any path cards until someone helps you out. But don't worry, if you get sabotaged, a friendly teammate or, a saboteur pretending to be a friendly teammate can play the matching fixed tool card on you. That gets rid of the broken tool and you're back in business, ready to dig again on your next turn. It's a great way to see who your real friends are. There are a couple of other cool actions too. A rockfall card lets you pick up any tunnel piece already on the board and just remove it from the game. It's perfect for saboteurs trying to blow up a key path. And the map card lets you secretly look at one of those face-down gold cards so you can find out if it's the real treasure or just a rock. And remember, if you're ever in a spot where you can't legally play a card, or maybe you're a saboteur and you just want to lay low and not look suspicious, you always have the option to pass. To do that, you just pick one card from your hand, discard it face down, and draw a new one. So, you've been playing cards, digging tunnels, breaking tools, and accusing everyone at the table. How does a round actually end? And more importantly, who gets the gold? A round can end in one of two ways. First, a victory for the gold miners. This happens if a player successfully connects the start card to the gold card that actually has the gold treasure. If that happens, the miners win immediately. The other way it ends is a victory for the saboteurs. This happens if the draw deck runs out of cards and nobody can play anything. The miners are out of time and the saboteurs have succeeded. As soon as the round ends, it's the moment of truth. Everyone flips over their roll card to show who they really were. If the miners won, they get to share the gold. The player who laid that final winning path gets to draw a number of gold cards equal to the number of miners on their team. They pick one to keep, then pass the rest to the next miner who picks one, and so on. If the saboteurs won, it's simpler. They just get a fixed reward of gold for a job well done. But one round isn't the whole game. You play a total of 3 full rounds. In between each round, you'll reset the mine, shuffle up the rolls, and deal them out again. You might be a miner in one round and a saboteur in the next. And all the gold you collect, you keep its secret. And really, that's the ultimate question, isn't it? After 3 rounds of broken alliances, clever plays, and outright deception, who will have managed to secretly collect the biggest pile of gold? The only way to find out is to get it to the table and start playing.